Hey guys, welcome back. So we're gonna do Tales of Narc Clown Part 2 and the aftermath of the divorce. So at this point, I'm free, or so I thought. But I quickly learned that this guy has still got my name in his mouth, trying to dominate, sabotage my life. And the sad thing about it is, it's like it's all being done for revenge. So why? I bruised his ego, I took my power back, and I moved on. Why is it that when you get divorced, both sides can't just walk away? We did not have kids, so what's the big deal? Why do you have to try to destroy my life? I could not understand that. I had to do some research, and I did learn that this is the thing that narcissists do. They will not take accountability for anything, and if anyone ever asks what happens, it's definitely part of their script to turn the tables and project on the other person. It's my fault. So let's be clear. Telling lies, spreading rumors, sabotaging, and hurting someone for no reason is either a sign of envy or unchecked mental illness. Life. So I'm on my healing journey, and I have gone from disbelief to relief. This experience has definitely opened my eyes to the fact that there are actually evil, narcissistic, wolf-like energies out there who are willing to take advantage of good-natured, compassionate, empathetic people, drain their resources, and then just go on about their lives, go on about their business. So think about it. After everything he did, he has the audacity to play the victim and then try to scandalize and destroy my name and my reputation. So the first step in my healing journey was acceptance. I broke my own heart following through with the divorce because I truly was in love with this person. I thought that this asshole was my soulmate, but he was a catfish pretending to be a soulmate. But regardless of how much I love this person, I had to save myself. I had to face the truth about my marriage and not reconcile with this person who was determined to ruin my life. Being in a relationship like that with a narcissist and a controlling person, it's just like every day is like just chipping away at your spirit bit by bit. And it's exhausting. And you don't realize how exhausting it is until you actually step away. And then you feel a whole weight lifted off your shoulders. And it feels so good. But at the same time, it's sad because you realize what a toll it takes on you when you just have to constantly flick the insults, flick the disrespect off. He said, I am going to break you. I own you. It takes a lot of resilience and inner strength to leave someone and walk away from a relationship that you thought just the day before was your life, was everything. Your whole life revolved around this person and your relationship. However, you definitely have to consider yourself and put yourself first. So if you're in a relationship and you're feeling bad, you're exhausted because this other person is devaluing you or disrespecting you, think about yourself. Don't ever shrink yourself in order to appease someone else's lack of vision of who you are. Remember your name. Remember who you are. Remember why God put you on this earth. And I trust and believe that it was not to be a doormat for a spouse, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, even children. So healing from the trauma of narcissistic abuse was a very long, difficult road for me. And initially, when I left, I thought that, I'm fine. But yeah, that wasn't the case. I did not realize how deeply just being someone like that for the time that I was very detrimental and scarring. Over the past 10 years, I'm trying very hard to put the pieces of my life back together, as relentless as I did. Definitely had some sort of PTSD, and it eventually culminated into a period of exhaustion and breakdown. This process blessed me, actually. So his toxicity and everything that ensued afterwards was actually a blessing in disguise, because it gave me the opportunity to completely know myself fully and to accept myself, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I mentioned before that I tried different modalities of therapy during the marriage, but once we were divorced, I continued personal therapy or individual therapy. And so most of it was just like talk therapy, kind of talking through what your issues are and trying to validate your feelings. I also tried meditation, and I still continue meditation practice. I used Sync, which is a binaural beats program, and it was definitely helpful. Also, yoga was a good way for me to practice mindfulness and relaxation. I don't know if you guys know about Reiki, but basically it's kind of like a practitioner that is skilled in doing energy work and realigning your chakras. Swear by it. Think it's too hokey. That's fine. But it definitely worked for me. I left there every single time feeling lighter. So, I mean, something must be going on. So the final thing, the final therapy modality that I tried is called QHHT, which is Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique. And basically it is like a past life regression hypnotherapy. And it provided such a deep healing at the subconscious level and allowed me to explore and understand what my past life or childhood traumas were. And that also left me feeling much better. So, I have to give a shout out to my girl, Ellen. She's a quantum healing hypnosis technique practitioner and gave me a lot of insight into who I am and where I've been. And so thank you, Ellen. You're an angel or earth angel. So during this process, I did a lot of self-care, acceptance, self-love. I forgave myself, and it taught me to remember that I am a human who makes human mistakes, and to have compassion for myself, because for a long time I blamed myself. Like, how in the world could I get myself mixed up with someone like this? Like, what is it about me that I did not see, or that I ignored all of these red flags? And so, yeah, I put a lot of blame on myself. And I definitely began to distrust my own intuition. But anyway, so having compassion for yourself is so important. And remembering that you are a human being, not a human doing. You're a human being. So you're being, and you're living through this life, and you're living through all of the challenges. And your task is to adapt and overcome and keep moving. Don't ever stop. Don't ever let anyone or anything throw you off your path and make you forget who you are. Some people swear by vision boards, and I used them for a few years. And then initially it gave me an opportunity to kind of look towards the future, and was a great distraction. It kept me from looking back at the past and having so many past regrets. So while I was creating the vision board, and also while I looked at it every day, there was no excuse but to look forward. So that was also very helpful. And sharing my story with you is also a healing practice, because, it became time for me to shed and release the negative experience, and understanding that hurt people hurt people. And finally, it's time for me to put the toxic chapter of my life behind me. And hopefully it'll eventually lead towards forgiveness. I ain't there yet. There yet. You know, Reflecting on everything that happened, it just reminded me about why people treat people poorly, predators in particular. And I believe that, people perpetrate predatory behavior out of ignorance of the impact, or out of sociopathic indifference to the impact of their actions. In the case of narcissism, there's definitely a fundamental indifference to the impact of their mistreatment of others. And so for victims of this sort of abuse, I implore you to not blame yourself. Do not internalize this toxic person's behavior. It is not your fault. There's nothing wrong with you. And so please just try so hard to just hold on to yourself, be compassionate with yourself, and take care of yourself. Put yourself first.